G'day all, F here from Epic Rides and Tours, Sidecar Adventures. It's a rotten, horrid, gloomy day outside, and coincidentally, I don't have a ride to do. So I thought I'd knock together a video out of some shots I've taken previously, and I've had to turn on the lights where I do these videos from, and I appear to have a laser beam shooting directly into the bridge of my nose. But if I turn out the lights, you'll not see much. Lucky beggars. Okay, subject today, oil changes. Really basic thing. There are a couple of points to note about the way Ural do things. And that's not a bad thing. It's some of the little quirky bits and pieces that they have on their bikes are really nice ideas. Anyway, without further ado, that way. And today's mission, should I choose to accept it, is to drain the engine and gearbox oil and to replace the engine oil filter. Both have a drain plug underneath the engine, as you should know. If you don't, stop watching this channel immediately and pick up a book of Mechanics for Idiots. Wish me luck. Rightio, now I've emptied the engine oil out. It's still dripping a wee bit, but this drip tray is paying for itself, I think. Okay, the engine capacity is 2 litres of 2050. I'm actually using 1040 on this one. It seems to run a bit more quietly. Also seems to warm up a wee bit faster. As you can see, I've got my red funnel there because the filling hole is in one of the most awkward bloody places that anyone could think of. Don't blame the Ruskies, it was a German thing. And my measuring jug. Now that goes up to 1 litre, but I tend to fill it up to ½ litre because otherwise it's too easy to get oil spilling off the sides of the spout. So righty-ho, let's go. Righty-ho, down there somewhere, about there, is the filler for the engine oil. So I'll take that off. Note that I've got that washer that I spoke about on, and right, don't know if you can quite see, but the actual oil level is about 4 millimeters, 3 or 4 millimeters higher than the full indicator. And I haven't run the engine yet, and don't forget I've changed the oil filter, so that will probably take up the slack. Yep, so once you get up to the 2 litres, just double check the amount of oil that you've got in the engine, and then run the engine for maybe 5 minutes to get it warmed up, and take the measurement again. This is the dipstick. If you have the dipstick fully screwed home, this washer is part of the oil measuring system, in that if you do not have it on the dipstick in the correct place, then you will not get the correct reading. You've got 2 indentations on the end of the dipstick. This one is full, this one is empty. Now you'll notice that they're in sort of a kink style. So what actually happens is, if you have the dipstick screw just sitting on the fill plug hole, then this, where my finger is the low position, and this, when you, sorry, we'll get it the other way around, this is the low position when the dipstick hasn't been fully screwed home. This bit is low when it is fully screwed home. Likewise with the top, that is full when the dipstick is not fully home, and this is full when the dipstick is fully home. I hope that makes sense. So this is the drain plug from the gearbox. Actually, it's the filler hole, the filler plug. The drain plug is still down there on the oil tray. So there's a fair amount of little iron filings in there, metal filings, and some gunky oil. Now this bike has done 24,000 Ks, and it is not at all unusual for a Ural to still have this sort of stuff on the fill plugs or drain plugs of either the engine, gearbox or final drive. Just make sure you clean it off when you are doing the job. Okie dokie. At the bottom of the oil filter housing is a circular bit with a nut shaped center. The nut doesn't come off, but you use it to undo the filter. As you can see, I've got a crabby old towel right underneath it, and the reason for that being the oil which comes out with the filter will go onto the cross piece of your 2x2 exhaust system. Okay, we have the filter out. There is the base, there's the filter, and the easiest way to get this out, because you'll know as soon as you've done it, the base of the oil filter will catch on that exhaust pipe section. What you do is you grab hold of the base, and with one finger or thumb you push the filter back up into this bit, and then the base will literally fall off, and the filter, once you release it, will drop out. Rightio. This O-ring should need to be replaced every time you undo this. This bit fits here because it fits into the hole at the bottom of the oil filter, like so. And putting the filter back in is a matter of putting the filter in first so it can get in past that bridge, and then you slide the this object, I'm trying to think of a name for it, but never mind, put that in behind it, behind the filter that is, screw it in by hand, and then nip it up with a spanner. The nut shaped protrusion on the back of that, or bottom side of that doohickey, I shall call it a doohickey if people don't mind. There we go. It could be a thingy, a firkin, what's it, doobry, whatever you like, and then tighten it up. Please do remember that you don't need to really rip it up tight, because this metal is not designed for massive amounts of torque. So the same method with this as with the engine oil. I half fill my 1 litre jug, and I have the pouring funnel down there. Now, funny thing about these is the gearbox Oil is recommended to be 2050. In the in the manual it says Castrol, but yeah, Motul seems to be the recommended nowadays. I'm not sure either's any bad. I tend to use Penrite, that's my favourite, and I've been using motorcycle oil. I'm not real sure, but because they have a dry clutch, I don't think that Urals actually need motorcycle oil. Anyone out there who knows better than me, please leave it in the comments. Cheers. Well, I hope you gain something from that. It's pretty simple stuff, really, but a couple of the little quirky things about Ural, their dipsticks are different, and if I can explain that to somebody and they get something out of it, and that's great. You know, passing on what we know. Um, Dealerships are few and far between, and I think most of us at some stage, at least here in Aussie, will need to do a fair amount of work on them ourselves. And I think that even the smallest piece of knowledge, if it's passed around, can be worth a mint. Anyway, I'm glad you still stayed till now. See you next time.